Heidi ho, hi, hey, TGIF, right? I said that like I meant it, didn't I? The first week back from vacation. Woo, woo. I was really concerned those first couple of days because all of a sudden I kept wanting to take naps all day long. Well, I'm sleeping, right? And I'm finally back into the groove, and I'm so happy to be back here with all of you, beautiful people. Welcome to the show. I'm Loren Michaels Harris. I'm your host of Bathrobe Moments, and that's the bell of purpose. Did you hear it? There it is. Sounds kind of weird. There it is. Okay, it's all in the flick of that. You see. You got to do that. The Bell of Purpose is new to season 4, and it's everyone out there. It's all of our chances to be a part of something greater than ourselves. So when our guest says something that you're like, "Oh, girl," because it's a girl today, um, something they put something down that you're like, "Can I pick that up?" I'm going to ring that bell. That's how we know. Listen, tune in. Now's a great chance to be a part of something greater than yourselves. You can start a watch party. You can invite some friends. You can share it out. Whatever it is, just don't keep it to yourself. Give it away. Pay it forward. That's what it's all about, right? So that's the bell of purpose. When you hear that bell ring, put some hearts on the screen at a minimum. So we're live streaming, as always, across the following platforms: iOS, LinkedIn, those are new, Facebook, YouTube, Roku, Android, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and of course, we have Periscope, Twitch, and also from our home base, E360 TV live out in beautiful, sunny Arizona. Um, there it is. Okay, now listen. Something that's been going on. Two things I want to talk about this morning before I bring my guest in. Number one, I have got to figure out a way. I got up a minute ago while the show opener was going and ran out because Ethel and Lucy, speaking of, she's back from vacation. Help me welcome my sidekick to the show, won't you please? Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Sorry, girl, you've been gone for 14 days. Mm. We're sipping on some salted caramel today. Anyway, Ethel and Lucy, our two little baby girl cats, they went running over to the slider to the deck because I put some new bird seed in the feeder. We have these beautiful cardinals and all these little birds that come, and I can't keep it full because of who, Mr. Squirrel. So I've been Googling and trying to find ways to keep his butt from eating it up as soon as I put it in. So I have a bell that when the birds light on it, it doesn't ring. But when he's messing with it, it dings and the cats run over and that alerts me to go. And then I have a little stick. I don't even have to throw it because I got him once. So I just pick it up and he sees it and he runs up there. So, but I've also, I found out he likes Honey Nut Cheerios. So I put those on the ground for him. Who buys an entire $7 box of cereal just for the squirrel? Shaking my head. But anyway, I do. Correct. Now here's the other thing, and then I'm gonna get my guest in here. Lord, mm, mm, mm. Why is it every time because of COVID, any little thing that happens? Yesterday, my throat started. My throat hurts, and I was like, "Oh my God, honey!" I was telling him, "Listen, who it's Sister Brown to sing at my memorial. I'll probably be dead this time next week." And I really, because I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go, the upper room." I'm 58. And Brian, my husband goes, honey, just because COVID showed up doesn't mean we don't have colds, we don't have sniffles. You still have hay fever and all this stuff. Every 20 minutes, I'm taking my temperature. So, and then here's part two of that. If you've been around people, because we were at a family dinner, which was supposed to be social distance, it kind of was, but they were line dancing in the kitchen and all of that stuff. You know how black folks are. And when we watched it, as soon as that tickle started, I was like, I bet you it was what's her name that gave this to me. I knew it. I knew it. She's the only one didn't have a mask. It's like you start blaming people. Lord, I gotta pray because I don't want to be a recluse. You see what I need your help. We're gonna have to have a show on this, on just this. How to incorporate life back into life. Maybe today's guest. That's it. That's who I'm gonna ask. What am I thinking? Enlightened Circles is here. Jessica Sanchez. I got a circle she can enlighten. Yeah, a couple of them. So good. Okay. See, I knew it. I knew it was all going to work out. Now, let me tell you about today's guest. Jessica Sanchez, MD, is the founder and CEO of Enlightened. And there's a reason we're going to talk about that too. Enlightened Circles LLC. Now she's a non-licensed MD. I've never heard of it. Well, I guess you can go to school and get your degree, but you still got to take the license. But she chose something else. She is an international spiritual healer. So she goes all over the world doing this. And I have this highlighted. Medical intuitive. That got my the cockles up on my back. I was like, okay, loving that. She took an unconventional path in her career. Having studied medicine abroad, she gained a new understanding for the correlation of Western medicine with complementary and alternative healthcare. So, caring for people through different spiritual healing modalities, she humbly embraces these beautiful gifts of healing from the divine. Key word for me, allowing them to work through her as she is the instrument. Everything she said, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm loving it again. She said it all right and in the right order. That's important. But I heard some out in the back earlier, because we got some fountains and stuff back there. When people like her come around, they always head back there. And I thought I heard some gongs and I smelled some incense or something. So I know she's here somewhere. Is that girl here yet? Were you in the back smudging?
I was in the back with my bathrobe on.
Oh, I like that.
Ready for the morning kimono. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. I wish this was Bathrobe Moments After Dark so I could put my knockoff Versace one on. I have a knockoff, but everyone always thinks it's real and I don't correct them. But anyway, how are you? So wait a minute. Let me just ask you. Can a person refer to you? We can call you Dr. Sanchez.
You can, but I go by Jessica.
I know, but I mean, it's not wrong if somebody does that, right?
No, it's not. It's not, because it is your professional title. I've just chosen not to practice traditional Western medicine and not be licensed. And my career path since birth has always taken me same kind of field in a different format, a different way.
Okay, and we're going to talk about that today because you told me in the pre-interview your father, your brother, both physicians, and so here you are. Where are you on the ladder of children in your family? Are you the baby?
I'm actually the oldest.
You are?
I'm the oldest, but everyone thinks I am the baby, which is kind of great because I had been away, like you mentioned earlier before we got started. Which, thanks for the laughs this morning. It's great on a bathrobe moment to be having laughs when you wake up in the morning. That's the way I love to start my mornings. So got us going. But now I come back, and I'd been gone to medical school in Budapest and came back to help take care of my grandmother before she passed away with cancer, and then on back to Mexico, and I did everything else there in Guadalajara at the Autónoma. And when I come back, everyone hasn't seen me in a while, and so they're like, "Oh, I know your brothers, and that one's a veterinarian, that one's a doctor, and that one's a dentist." And then they start saying, "But so where are you? You're the baby. What did you end up doing?" I was like, "Oh, actually, I'm the oldest." I'm the traveling gypsy in a bathrobe in the mornings of the family. So it's all good.
How interesting. First of all, Budapest, because okay, when you're sitting there going through brochures, you're like, University of Chicago. Oh, Kent State. Oh, Dartmouth. Ooh, Budapest. Girl, for real? What? Weren't you scared?
No, you know what? I think that's part of even what Enlightened Circles is about, but it's about following that path, following where you're supposed to be. And that's one thing I've always done in life is been able to, ding, ding. I mean, one thing that I've been able to kind of, fortunate enough to have been able to do is have these different paths come up in life. And whether I intuitively knew this is a path I should be taking, or I was pushed by the right people at the right time, because we got guardian angels all around us. Everybody in life speaks to us in different ways. And so Budapest came up through another ear, nose, and throat doctor friend of my father, which my father knew I was looking at going out of the country to go to medical school because the way the system was here wasn't fulfilling enough for me. I wanted to be more hands-on and do a lot more stuff. So he reached out to our friend and he's like, well, I got a call a week later saying, how would Jessica like to go to medical school in Budapest? And I was like, well, he's like, my dad passes the phone around. I was like, well, that sounds awesome. Like, when do I need to know by, or what do I need to do? He says, their classes start in a week. I had my passport, got my ticket, did my little research, got my ticket, and here I go off to Budapest.
Budapest.
Budapest, yeah. Everyone says Budapest, but it's pronounced SH, Budapest.
I'm gonna remember that one so I can impress some people. When I go, oh, I'll make up some way to bring it into the. I had this wonderful coffee. I think it was imported from Budapest. And then they'll correct me, and then I'll go, oh no. Sorry, dear. Okay, so thank you for that. So listen, I know a lot of people are going, she must have been married to a Spanish guy, because this is definitely a white girl. And you are not.
No soy.
You are the most white-looking Latina I think I've ever seen, and I've seen a few.
Yeah, well, my families actually, they're the original families that came from Spain, the conquistadores. They came from Spain, obviously made the journey, voyage over to New Mexico. Obviously, they landed, had to make their way up, and got into New Mexico. And New Mexico is desert, and it was landlocked. So everyone's here. In my family, it's basically all birth certificates say New Mexico, except for mine. I was born in Fort Worth at the time while my dad was doing his residency. But it's New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico, Nueva España, España. So, that's the way it kind of goes on through. And my great grandfather still died calling this Nueva España. It wasn't Nuevo Mexico, and it was not New Mexico to him. It was still Nueva España. So there's a beautiful history here in New Mexico, and you have where American crossover as well. So with my grandmother's family, and so but we forget. We think about race as being all of these different ethnic groups, but it's really not.
It's not.
And when you go to Spain, you see people light eyes like myself, and all colors. My mom.
I think it's great.
We say somos de colores, right? And that's what brings in all of this beautiful world that I've been in since birth. Of luckily being in New Mexico, there was an acceptance of what I do or an understanding in certain ways. Yet I'm 43. And I love being 43, but there's also that closed offness, right? And how do you come out and say who you are and what you do?
And I want to jump in and ask you something, because I think it's anyway. I love the way you can play double dutch with English and Spanish. You flawlessly hop between both of them, even in mid syllable sometimes, and it's a beautiful thing. Seriously, and you're very, very, very authentic. I see you haven't abandoned anything about your culture, and I love that too. And I love New Mexico. When we were making our pilgrimage, my best friend from high school, Rick Baird, and I were in a little MG on our way out from Michigan to make our mark, and we were in Tucumcari, New Mexico, when a dust storm hit. Turned the entire car upside down. So we were stuck there for a few days while they fixed it. And the people in New Mexico, I'll never forget, took us home and wouldn't let us, the guy, from the shop, and his mother took me, and he took my friend Rick, and they had a big dinner for us, like we were celebrities or something. Just a great culture and a great people in New Mexico. I want to ask you, what's it like? What was it like? Now, I know they eased into it, but you went to school, you went through all of that stuff. You remind me of a kid that I coach right now who is in Russia, the Ukraine, in medical school. He's from India, and he's in medical school as a backup because he wants to be a speaker, but his parents wouldn't let him be a speaker until he goes and gets his medical degree. So he's going to all those years of school as a backup so he can try speaking. So anyway, so here you've done all of this education, and then because people that are in medicine are usually scientifically minded, and a lot of what you do is not really science-based. It's spirituality. But the Latin culture also embraces a lot of those things. So how was that? How did you break that news, or how was that accepted or not inside the inner circles of your family when you say, oh yeah, I know I went and got the degree, but guess what?
Psych, right?
Right. Everybody's eating their soup, and then it's like, what'd she say? What the hell? Right. So how was it? Was it rough? Was it easy? What was that?
I think there's certain things in life that prepared them for me not doing quote unquote what they expected me to be doing. One, the fact that I am not traveling gypsy kind of a person, soul, spirit, right? And Jessica's ever evolving as we should be in life. That's what life is about. Life is the journey that happens in between birth and death, right?
Yep.
And so I've allowed myself to just kind of flow and follow and do that. So be on these different adventures, thankfully, in different ways, you know. And they were kind of understanding always. I've always been spiritual in different ways as well. We were raised Catholic, very strong Catholic type of families, right, and background. But it's also more so not just the quote unquote religion of it and rituals of it. It was the understanding and knowledge of that spiritual connection to that higher power. Okay. And so me knowing that, that's something I've always embarked on. And they were already knowing that Jessica used to talk to dead people. Jessica used to see angels, but we didn't talk about it so much as we're growing up. So there was like a wake up and a moment kind of them. And a beautiful thing is, as I came home, I left medical school at different times, both places I was at, to come take care of my grandmothers who were passing away.
Oh.
And as they were passing through their journey and their spiritual transition as well, they were sharing with family members what they had seen and noticed in me even since I was young. They were sharing the visions that I would have. And that was a beautiful gift to me, because that started to put that extra cushion in there as well, where, what? Jessica used to see these visions.
Oh, okay. And so you didn't sit down and go, well, let me see. You know, I could work at that bakery outside of town, or, I could be a secretary. Wait, I know, I'm going to be a light worker. No, so you had the gift.
Always, yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
and we all do.
We all do. But who did you know it, or did your grandmothers help you see it? How did you find your way to it, and how did you begin to understand it? Because you're right, we all have it. And I want to talk about that, because a lot of people just think they write it off, like they'll say, "Oh, I just had a feeling." You know, well, that's something. You know, I had the weirdest dream. It's not weird. You know, talk about that.
You know, I was born awake into this world, and all of us mostly are, pretty much, you know, but we kind of, through our youthfulness, we have pet rocks that we talk to. That's the crystals. That's a metaphysical attachment. That's spirit talking to us. That's the world. We talk to imaginary friends, or our parents told us it was imaginary friends. And then that veil kind of comes down, and we get back into something different, to the world that's programmed around us. As you know, the movie The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of this matrix that we're living in, and we're living other people's programs as well in certain ways. And then we start to lose that connection, or that spirituality, or whatever it might be, that sense of our truth, our sense of our knowledge of who we are and what we are, or how we're connected, interconnected, even to us right now, everyone else that's talking. You and I have this energetic connection with everyone else out there, whether they're watching now or later. And we start to lose sight of that throughout all these years and generations. And then what happens is, for me, I was still awake through the whole time, but I couldn't really share this with everyone, because growing up, you don't know, how do I tell people? How do I not tell people? So you do it in all those kind, polite PR types of ways. And then it was just with the right time, like you said, the right people were reintroduced back into my life at different times. My grandmothers helped foster what I knew, what I saw, what
they probably still do.
Are you kidding? Like, they're right here, right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Definitely do. And in everything I do. And it's about just kind of opening up and saying thank you, opening up. And more we have those conversations, like we're having a conversation right now, our voices also, even out loud, when we speak it out loud, carry that energy and that connection, right, through time. So as you open yourself back up, you get more interconnected. And I had the right people come into my life to help either reawaken sort of things, give me the vocabulary maybe that I didn't understand or know, because I was innocently ignorant towards some of this, spiritual world. And do you know this huge spiritual healer? Do you know who this spiritual healer is? Reiki, this shaman.
Yeah.
And I was innocently ignorant towards a lot of these big popular people, but it was meant to be that way as well, so that I could have the truth of how I'm supposed to be working with many modalities, many different formats, but not for myself, for everyone else that I'm assisting.
Everyone that you're assisting. Right about now is when I like to do a little thing where I make sure that moving forward, all of us understand, you know how, for those of you out there who are, let's say, say you were a trainer or a coach of some type, and everybody's thrown that shingle up, so it's kind of like watered down the true meaning of it. And I get the feeling that that happens with people like yourself, Jessica, where they think if you know one person who does what you do, you know them all. But you're a lot different. I knew that from the moment I met you. So I want to take this magnifying glass. Hello, gumshoes. Remember that? Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Remember that? And I wanna focus. Let's zero in on multi-dimensional metaphysical healer. That's a mouthful, but it's not something. It's a thing that I think a lot of people do the 50-yard dash pass, and think they understand it when really they don't. Now, don't think it missed me that in your bio you had every letter of that capitalized. That's because there's attention warranted there. Tell us about that. And you're the first person I ever heard of doing that. Tell us what that means and how it can be helpful to all of us.
In life, we bring ourselves to so many constraints and so many boundaries and so many programming. I could be like, oh, I'm Hispanic. I need to be this way, act this way, do something. Necesito andar con mi gente. No voy a andar con otros. As African American, Black, you could be held to a certain stigma and everything else. But what the thing is this world is larger than all of that, right? Religions, it's larger than that. It's larger than the trees around us. We are all so interconnected. We are part of this universe, and the universe is part of us. And that is also many different dimensions. So in the spiritual world, I don't like being held bound necessarily, more so myself, because then it limits who I am and what I can potentially be to just a specific dimension or a specific modality. I am a Reiki master. I am a shaman. I am a medical intuitive. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am all these things. But if I was to go put all of these different things out there, we get lost in words. We get lost in the confusion. And why should I let this dimension hold back who and what I am, as I'm part of this universe that's since the beginning of time to the end of time, right? On all time, all space. And I'm not saying that in a pompous way. I'm saying we all are. And so we can work multidimensionally in this beautiful metaphysical world. And that's how I work. And I incorporate what I do individually for each person when I'm working with individuals, with whether it be through their religious beliefs, through their spiritual beliefs, I have agnostics that I work with, atheists that I work with, and we can work on a very pragmatic place, but we can also talk from the science point and everything else. So one thing, if I can say, if this show got cut off right now, don't hold yourself back by any definition of who or what you are in life, whether it be physically, spiritually, or emotionally. And so that's definitely how I work. I work with people's physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, ethereal body. We have many parts of us that make up who we are. So therefore, multidimensional, metaphysical healer.
Got it. You glided through that a lot more gracefully than I thought you would. And not that you could do it, but I thought I wouldn't get it. But I did. So that's a great thing. The truth has a ring to it. And it's like a silent dog whistle. You don't have to look for it. It'll find you if you're seeking. So thank you for that, Drew. Now I want to ask you, when you said medical empath, the first thing I thought of was, I don't know if I'd want to invite her to dinner. Because, as a medical empath, why do I picture, like, you're standing near me and all of a sudden you're like, picking up my arm. What are you doing? I think I smell some cancer in there. What is I know I'm an empath. And I know I pick up on feelings and things like that. But a medical empath, explain how that one works.
Yeah, so like I said, it's when you choose, like the other person as well needs to choose to be open as well to receiving, right? And allowing this connection to occur. As people allow their souls to come forward, as they allow themselves emotionally, spiritually to come forward, and for this connection to be there, we can really tune into each other's bodies. We can tune into each other's energies, like you were saying, as you're an empath, and so many people out there, moms knowing what's going on with their children, and their children are at school, right? That connection is there. The same thing works as a medical intuitive, the medical empath, the medical medium part. where we can really start to tune into people's body. And this is where like that whole medical school didn't completely go to waste part, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like a human MRI. I'm not putting myself out there saying that I'm going to see everything that's happened, but some friends and some clients have said, you're basically a human MRI looking inside my body. But there's a lot of things that we have that start to occur in our body, that manifest within our body, because spiritually or emotionally, we have these different blockages going on in our life. And here comes the cancer, here comes the liver pain, here comes the kidney issues. We don't understand why we're getting a lot of urinary tract infections. And energetically, what I do is I assist people to opening themselves up as well on their journey, so that we can go in and etherically work on things, physically, emotionally, spiritually, work on things in such a beautiful way. And a lot of times what happens is when I'm out there, like even right now on the show, and I'm already picking up on people and I can feel people's back pain, I can feel things, I start to feel what all of you guys are feeling in my body. It doesn't hurt me. It's not like, if I feel something, I feel it enough to understand and know what it is. And that's getting in touch with your angel language, your soul language, your spirit language, right? And your body language. And so I start to know, is it me, you know, and or is it others out there, right? And I can start to feel like right now somebody that's been having some back left kidney pain, right, area. And so as I start to do that, that's the medical intuitive part. And then we can work into, okay, is this really something just pathophysiologically that's going on? Yes, go see your doctor. It's not any, it's not to be taken over your medical advice with your doctors, your providers, but I work with people's doctors, their providers as well. But we can also say, what is it spiritually that maybe with this kidney that you are filtering? Because the one I'm feeling is left side. So left side, spiritual, physical side. So a lot of times things, when they just start manifesting on our left side, it might be a spiritual, emotional kind of issue that we're going through. And maybe what are kidneys in our body? There are filters, right? Our kidneys filter out certain items and then excrete it out through our urine. So what are we filtering energetically more so that we should, you know, what are we not filtering? Or what are we filtering for others now that is taking a larger impact on our kidney? And so now then I take people into the energetic space, spiritually, emotionally, everywhere else, so that we can concentrate, take some deep breaths. And now I'm starting to feel people's morning headaches and where their minds have been going. So like, do you mind? Let's just take some deep breaths here together, Loren, with everyone else that's watching live. Yeah. Let's go for it. Okay. If everyone wants to just, and Loren, I can feel your legs tingling on your thighs right now. Do you feel that? It's all right. You can say yes.
Yes.
So this is exactly.
I thought it was because I have jean shorts on and they're a little too tight. I suffer from COVID-20.
COVID-20?
And 10 pounds on this side and another 10 on this side. I ate my way through quarantine. I certainly did.
Well, guess what, baby? Your thighs are vibrating. So let's take it there.
I'm going to put my hands on them.
Okay, so everybody just take a few deep breaths if you want to. I promise Loren and I can't see you wherever we are right now. Nope. So just, if you want to, close your eyes if it's going to help you concentrate. Don't do it if you're driving. Don't do it if you're doing something that you need to be seeing. But take these deep breaths real quick. And just allow, as you take these beautiful deep breaths, whoever you are, whatever is divine, whatever is spiritual, whatever is, it doesn't matter pragmatic, but whatever's that higher power source connection for you, take those deep breaths and allow that to just come into all that you are. And as you allow that to start to come through into all that you are, accept this energy, allow this healing energy, allow this light energy, allow all of it that's beautiful, that all that is part of this universe in this most beautiful, protected, lighted way, allow it to come into you and allow it. If you're one of these people, because I can feel you guys and you guys can type into Loren's show and tell us if you are, those of you alive, if you're feeling this headache, if you're feeling these back pains or the kidney pains, the knee people that are coming up, I can feel some of you with your jaws and your mandible areas. Let this energy just go to those places. And we're also here, those who are not feeling anything, as we start to receive and your body starts to tingle and accept this, you can start to exchange this energy with everyone else out there. That's what Enlightened Circles is about. It's enlightening your circles, but others as well. Bring this in. Let that peace, love, and light come in. Loren, I can feel your feet tingling on the bottom of your feet. Okay. I'm just going to do a few things, and I feel the person with their back pain and that left side kidney pain kind of like dissipating and going away. And those of you with that headache, just understand that it's not something that you have to hold on to. The emotions, the energy, all those family problems you've been going through that have been making your head spin, just accept that they are what they are and just release them. Turn them into that higher power and let them to be transformed and transmutated in something positive and good. Take a deep breath. There you go. How's everyone's heart feeling? How are you feeling, Loren? How's everyone else out there feeling?
I feel calm and peaceful. I was saying she better hurry up and wrap this up, or she'll be saying, Loren, wake up. Because I was like, oh yeah. Floating on a cloud, or in, say, like when you drop yourself inside the jacuzzi without the jets on.
Well, and okay, so that's putting ourselves basically into a theta wave. You're set there. So we start to think science doesn't really support the metaphysical world sometimes because it's not really wide known or spoken about. We talk about science all the time in medicine. We're talking about COVID-19 like crazy, right? So we're saying all these things, right? And I love that Brenda's saying we're multifunctional. We are all multifunctional, right? And so as we are this part of this multifunctional unit, there is, when we drop ourselves into this theta wave, we allow ourselves to embark upon those multifunctions. Especially, and they have proven it. Psychics, mediums, everything else, especially channelers, what they do is they drop themselves into where you were saying you felt relaxed and peaceful. That's why meditation is so beautiful. Prayer is so beautiful because we stop focusing on everything else.
That's right. And I want to tell everybody out there about an experience I had. I'll be brief because we have to go to commercial here in a minute. But for me, I thought I understood. I thought I was pretty open-minded about this sort of thing until, last year I was getting ready for my a lot of you know, I had a complete knee replacement surgery in January. Just went back from my 6-month thing yesterday. Everything's great. I don't have to see him for another year. And thank you, Jesus. And but during that time, I kept saying, I think something's going on with the left leg too, because it keeps going numb when I'm on the air and stuff like that. So they did the ultrasound and something. They said something's in there, and I had like 4 ultrasounds and 3 MRIs and then 2 CAT scans. And one day I was on my way to the 4th CAT scan, and one of my friends who's a light worker called me and said, where are you? I said, I'm in the car on the way to the hospital for an appointment. She goes, can you pull off someplace safe? And I did. And I said, but I don't have much time. I'm going to be late as it is. She goes, that's okay. This is where she goes, listen, the angels made me stop what I was doing. And she goes, there's something going on the left side in your pelvic area. And she started, she's like, oof, she's like, ooh, I feel it. It's warm. She goes, but I'm here to tell you that right now, as we speak, the angels are removing it. And I'm not kidding you. I promise you. I went ahead and went to that appointment. They did the next CAT scan, and I haven't heard from them since. I've had 2 more physicals, this and the other, nothing. So, it disappeared, and they didn't know what to tell me. So they just let it go. So I'm telling you, and the reason I brought that up is because why do I think it worked? I believe now what I took from that experience was this, and then we're going to go over to commercial, is I now know that everything in our universe, everything in our personal universes, negative or positive, requires our permission. It requires our permission.
Can you ring the bell for me on that one?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
And I'm telling you, I learned that from that experience because I was at the end of my rope. Every time I went in there, I thought, oh, the upper room. Oh my God, this is my old person thing. Oh Lord, it's cancer. Everything, and I'm the kind of person when something like that happens, I start telling my husband, like I did yesterday with sore throat. Oh, make sure Sister Sampson sings at my memorial, this and other. And I'm just like horrible with that stuff. But I gave it permission. It's gone. I haven't heard a word since. When we return, we're going to talk about the difference between religion, since our guest was brought up, raised as a Catholic. A lot of us were raised in some form of organized religion, and still now, or not maybe, have some sense of spiritualism. I want to talk about the difference. And is there a middle road? We'll get to that in just a moment. Don't go away. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Going, why don't you stay by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands, yeah. Baby, where are you going? Why don't you stay by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands, yeah. Baby, where are you going? Why don't you stand by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands.
with fibromyalgia don't realize that there's blood tests that actually help, and there are blood tests. And there's what's called taste tests too, to see how certain minerals are. But when we get to the bottom of it, almost all the time we can help people by approaching it from the energy standpoint, detoxifying them, helping with the hormones, and especially with digestion. So when we combine all these, there's very good success rate. We like treating it, and we're successful.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Loren Michaels Harris. Somehow you slipped on a spiritual banana peel and landed in the midst of Friday's episode of Bathrobe Moments, where my guest today is Jessica Sanchez, MD, and the founder and CEO of Enlightened Circles. I just want to say before we get started again, thank you so much. I'm truly blessed with both of my sponsors for the month of July, and they're both coming back to sponsor the show for the month of August. And I speak of the Emperor's Medicine, and which is an acupuncture and holistic, and that's also my niece Selma, Dr. Selma. I love you, and also our good friends of Nikki's of Naperville, right here in Naperville, Illinois. So, Jessica, I wanted to get into this difference between why do people feel, in your opinion, that it's in most cases when it comes to religion or spiritualism, it has to be one or the other. Why can't it be like the ice cream cone that's a swirl?
Well, see, I just live in the ice cream swirl world. So when you say, why can't it be? I say, why shouldn't it be? Or why is yours not? And I don't mean that like by pointing fingers. I'm just saying, if that goes back to what we're talking about in that first part, is us accepting that type of programming, accepting different thoughts or beliefs. And that's like what you said, giving it permission. So we're giving it to be permission to be the one or the only answer. And for me, like you said, the ice cream cone with a swirl, I give permission to be all of it and accept it in, and yet correlate it, right? So when you said, is there a happy middle ground? There definitely can be a happy middle ground where you can be in one place and another and see both sides, see both views, and then incorporate to what resonates with you, with your inner self, and allow it to be that. And I think that's where it's hard, because sometimes we haven't, that's how you and I met. Sometimes we haven't found out who we truly are, or we're not speaking our truth, and we're living on the surface, right?
Exactly. Now, I noticed inside the body of your bio, there's a line where you say, I guide clients working with them to empower. So they're doing the work, self-healing, self-healing of body, mind, and spirit. And I said, well, that's exactly it. You're showing people how to give themselves permission to do what they never knew they had the power to do.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about what you've seen happen with people when the light bulb comes on.
Well, I've had my own light bulbs go off. And when we have our own light bulbs go off, then we're more aware. So therefore we can assist others in finding their light bulbs and turning the light bulbs on, because the light bulbs are always there, right? Yeah. Those light bulbs are always there. We just haven't necessarily, like you said, accepted and allowed. So sometimes I talk on the power of acceptance and allowing, because when we're not accepting and allowing something, then the antonym is to forbid and to deny. So we sit here in a world, and I've heard you say this too as well. We sit here in a world sometimes where we're just choosing to be in our dark and gloom because we haven't accepted or allowed that other light bulb to be turned on. Mm-hmm. So I assist people in saying, okay, here's the cord. If you want to, it's right here. I'll help place it in your hand, and you pull it and you turn it on.
That is exactly, ring the bell. I tell people the same thing in a different way. It's like we're in a maze, but the maze is the same for all of us. So I can take you or someone else and I can say, okay, coming up, you're going to take it like they're blindfolded and I'm leading them. There's a sharp left. Now there's a thing that's going to be sticking out, a sharp corner. So watch your ankle as you come around this corner. Now I can get you all the way through the maze, and the breaker panel is right there on the wall, or the light switch, whatever you need to see it as. I cannot turn it on for you, but I can place your hand on it.
Right.
Because it must be your choice. Free will, all of that stuff ties in. So, what do you feel about this, Jessica? Because I know in my world, I'm grateful for this opportunity, and that's how I look at it. Because an opportunity, that word alone, I used it to replace all kinds of other things. I don't believe in mistakes. I believe now, because of opportunities, that there are no such things as mistakes. I believe they're all blessings or opportunities that are becoming. They're becoming. They're morphing. They're shape shifting. They're growing into the blessing. And so as I get older, I just feel a sense of urgency to finish my mission, to do better. I seek every day what I refer to as the ER in life, which means if I'm kind today, that's not good enough. I need to look for something that can place an ER on it so I can say tomorrow, I am now kinder. If I'm smart today, where's the ER in my world? Because life leaves me all kinds of clues.
It does.
And then I can be smarter. So tell us how you feel about that, and what can we do? What can people do to start figuring this out for themselves? Because I don't think any of us wants to get to that place, as we move down the road of our journey and feel like, oh, damn, I haven't done shit. Really. And a lot of people feel, what about this one, Jessica? Hit this one. Here's the one. When people think it's too late, I'm too old.
No, it's never, yeah.
Is it ever too late?
Never too late. Why are we still alive then? Why are we still on this journey? Each and every single one of us is still out here on this journeys for mostly for us to be receiving our lessons, working through ourselves, working through our soul journey, our purpose, our spirit, but as well as to share that with others, right? So that each one of us can share it. We can all be receiving. So it's about giving and receiving in all the right ways. So,
Yes.
I don't like to see it this way. When I check out of here and I transition over to that life eternal, right? I am saying at that point, I have probably done everything or I will have done everything that I was supposed to be doing here at this point. Even if it's dying of something, my grandmother's dying of cancer, there was grace and beauty in the cancer that they were dying through. There was so many lessons. And actually that was something in my morning bathrobe moment while I was getting ready to join all of you here. Even my grandfather, he's my last living grandfather. He's 95. And and my other one as well, we're fortunate to have that longevity in our lives, farmers, ranchers, all that jazz, eating great with the earth, but having that spiritual connection in their own particular ways takes us a lot further in life. But the journeys of everybody as they are passing away or something, there's so much for them to share and us to embark on. It's like they're new children as well, with a new sense of life in ways that we can't see it. So it's never too late for them to be teaching and sharing with us. And it's never too late for, my mom, she can be learning so much from these last gifts her father is giving her in life. I, as my grandfather, my godfather. So it's never too late in life. It's all right here, though. It's right here. What do you choose to do? What do you allow yourself to do? And how do you allow your soul, your energy, your light to connect with all that? Right?
Yes. I remember in 1988, when I was being groomed by the creator for this season. I was looking in a drama log. I was in LA. I lived in Hollywood, and I was going on auditions all the time. I was a jingle singer and an after voiceover artist. And instead of buying the drama log from the store, I'd stand there and just flip through and see if there were any auditions. And I saw a little bitty ad one day that said hypnotherapy. It kind of blew up like Jessica Rabbit's, And I was like, I don't believe in that shit. I ain't going. I ended up calling her. I'm not kidding you. She is the one who said, "See yourself in People magazine." She's the one who said, "Pick up your Grammy," because I had a record deal at the time. Feel the weight of it. And back on the wall in this room with me are both of those things. And and I remember when I walked through her door. And here's the purpose of even bringing this whole thing up. When I walked through her door, she reached for my arm and she tried to pull it. And I was like, it was frozen. She goes, oh. You're resisting. She goes, that's okay. Most people are. Um, and she healed me from all those years that I was in the foster care system in one fell swoop. She planted a trigger word in me a couple sessions later. And when I walked in that fourth session, she said that word, and I woke up 7.5 hours later on her couch with her holding me with blankets, and my eyes were swollen, my throat burned, and I had done nothing but breathe for a straight 7.5 hours, and I was able to leave that behind and start moving into the person and the place that I live today. So I really, as we round the last lap of this interview, got about 9 minutes left. I was hoping that you could speak to people about what it means to find that courage, because it takes a special kind of courage to look over your shoulder to the life you've already lived. A lot of people don't understand, Jessica, in my opinion, and it's those things that you want to keep buried. It's those scarlet letters that you think need to be hidden. It's those secrets that you think should stay in the dark. No, only things that grow in the dark are mold, spores, and fungi. Get them into the light and they get killed
I was
automatically.
going to say, and you can get rid of those.
Right.
You can release those. So it's the same kind of thing, right? With all these blockages that we're talking about energetically, we know what we've been dealing with. It's in our consciousness, it's in our subconsciousness, it's all over. It pops up while we're driving, and we ignore it and we start to push it back down, right? And as we start to push things down below our surface, eventually we can't hold it all down below. It's going to start to rise. So what I like to tell people as well instead is, if you get yourself into a place where it's okay, whether your words are, I give myself peace, I give myself forgiveness, I allow myself to feel all my emotions, like that 7.5 hours that you were there, you chose whatever was calling you, your angels, your guardian, your guides, and you chose to listen to that. And you called her up and you made the appointment. While you were there, you gave yourself to whatever it was going to be, right? To that moment. And you don't have to do all the work on your own. There are people like Loren, there are people like myself, we're life coaches, we're spiritual coaches, emotional coaches, all these different things. So you don't have to do things on your own. There is help, but you do have the ability as well, even if you're not going to go get professional, I'm saying quasi or professional help or pay somebody, you can do this yourself with all your guardians, your guides, your spirit connection as well. But you have to just be willing. But the biggest part is when you say, okay, you know what? I forgive myself. I've done what I've done. My past years are my past years. My past life and lives are my past lives. I accept who I am today.
Amen.
And I'm choosing to release all of the past, anything that was negative and not self-serving. I choose to release it and give it up here. Please take it, whoever that higher power, source, love, whoever it is for you, take it, universe. Give it back with love, transmute it, transform it into something positive and good. I choose to learn my lessons so I can be better, your ERs, right? I can acknowledge and live a better life, a more incorporative life, a more abundant life every single day now, because I choose to acknowledge the lessons and move forward from those lessons. And now I accept to be a co-manifester in my life. And I work my part. And we can be those manifestors. We can be those co-creators in our life. And it's things I've chosen to do either. It's not always easy. It's a daily process. It's a daily journey. But once you have that moment that you just open and accept, everything else flows.
Yes. I remember the moment. I'll never forget it. It was in the middle. You know, a lot of you know my story. You know that I had a 14-year drug addiction. And I remember in the swamps of that, where the quicksand was, that time where it's either going to go to the left and you're going to be here forever, or you're going to start working to the right to get out of it forever. And I remember I heard Source say to me, hey, Loren, I got something that's going to make all the difference in the world to you and how you process what's happening with you right now. It's like, what is it? Because you know how when you were going to church and stuff, you'd hear the preacher say, many are called, but few are chosen. And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, there's a third part, but you only get to hear it from my voice, from my mouth. He goes, many are called, few are chosen. But of all those that I choose, you'd be shocked how many refuse to choose in return.
Yes.
And that, I just got the chills again.
I got it again too. I can feel your thighs. Your energy.
You know, and you have to choose in return. I cannot stress that enough. Now, I want you to talk about this because I've heard a lot of people, and I believe a lot of people lose their way when they start, let's say I'm talking about affirmations. Um, affirmations. A lot of people think that all the eggs in the affirmation basket is all they have to do. Because you were saying, I am this, I am that. That's not the case, though, is it? Tell us about affirmations and how we can really make them work. And along with that, just go straight into it because I don't want to talk anymore. Go straight into your top 3 tips for how people can turn their lives around or just increase their power to make a difference in this world.
You
Top
know,
3 tips.
One beautiful, most important thing is connect to God, source, universe, whoever that is for you. I collectively as well call it God, as well. If it's Jesus, your angels, Mother Mary, spirit, nature, whatever it is, connect to that. Okay. Connect to that first so that you start to feel your center, you start to feel your grounding, and you start to feel all that you are. Therefore, you can move through life in beautiful ways and now be a lot more connected to listening to these messages around you, right? Another thing that each and every single one of us can be doing is as we do that, we can start to see our purpose. We can look forward and we can look past where we are standing. So many of us, we deserve to live in the moment, but so many of us are living in the past, right? And so don't let the past necessarily always dictate your day, your spirit, your energy, and your life. Allow the past to be the past, minus the lessons and everything that you can bring forth through you to have a better today and tomorrow and every day, right? But it'll start to allow you to move past just today. It'll start to allow you to see your beautiful future in that beautiful way. And as you keep this spiritual connection open, there's nothing that can stop you along the way.
Amen.
There's nothing that's going to stop you because now you have something stronger. We talk about another thing is we always talk about accountability partners. I like to say get your positivity partner. None of us like criticism. I'm always open to it, especially constructive criticism, but not everyone always likes that, right? Ooh. So we don't like it. And I've made sure that I am aware of it so that I can receive it, right? But instead of we get an accountability partner, we start thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to tell them what I didn't do this week because I told them last week I was gonna do this. Let's get our positivity partners. And that can be your friends, that can be family. Those can be people that give you that life, give you that energy as well. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to speak truth because that's what it's about. Let's speak the truth, people, as well. When we're true, we can do that. And then as you're connected with source, you're going to be able to hear this beautiful accountability, the criticism, constructive criticism, all the things we don't want to hear, but more so even if you don't have it with someone else, have that open, honest conversation with that source for you. Because that will bring something forth. And I say every day, look in the mirror. Don't look at your mirror. And hey, I'm a voluptuous, hefty woman myself. Don't look in the mirror and start judging yourself every day. You have asked and invited that energy in for everyone else to judge you as well. And then you got to deal with everyone else's judgments or your perceptions of what you think they're thinking. Look in the mirror every single day when you wake. I'm going to say thank you. Smile. Bring those affirmations in that you've been working on because you're talking about the affirmations and how do we make them real? That's say, right. I am beautiful. I am love. I am life. I am God. I am spirit. I am all these beautiful things that you deserve to be and that you truly are within, and bring that forward. But say it with a smile to yourself and love yourself. Allow your body, your heart, your spirit, all that you are come into one place and then go start your day with that beautiful vibrations.
That's absolutely right. You all have heard me say here many days when we close the show that I instruct you, I implore you, I put a call to action out. And I literally beg you to get up every day and find the nearest mirror, because when you look in it, you are looking at the very first blessing. And if you cannot see a blessing, you can never be a blessing. And that's why it's so important what Jessica said. Now,
that's Jessica, when I say thank you, God. I look in the mirror and I say thank you, God, and I tell myself thank you.
And that's important. That's important. Ownership of all things.
All of it, the good, the bad, the ugly,
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And in closing, I want to say this to you guys. You've heard it before, so it's the truth never changes, and it will never change on us. It's the only thing in the universe that doesn't change. And so I want to say this to you. Don't be afraid of your past. Don't be afraid of going back to the proverbial scene of any crime, because it's not a crime. It's a mile marker. It is a room. It's a curtain that you can part and step inside. It is the only form of time travel we are afforded. We can't see the future, not all of us. We can feel things, but we really can't see it. But what we can do is we can time travel through remembering. Remember yourself to those moments. Embrace them and look around, because life has left you all kinds of clues that you can use all the way to the very last breath of this journey. I want you to understand that it's important that there are no mistakes, only blessings in the making that are becoming. Step over the threshold of opportunity on purpose, and you will come back out of that room with even more purpose. Go in, and all you have to do, because the Creator is omnipotent, the Creator is the first, the last, the everything. When you go in, no matter what it looks like, stop dead in your tracks. Look at everything around you from top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner. That way you miss nothing. And when you walk back out, you walk back out with that purpose. Jessica, thank you so, so much. I have chills right here. And I want to, you have an open door, the turnstile invitation that I offer people to come back anytime.
And well, and thanks to everyone else, because I saw some of the beautiful comments flowing, the emojis, and thanks to everyone else's Enlightened Circles, their spirits, who they are that have been here participating and sharing with us today. But thank you, Loren. You're fabulous. I love you. And the same thing. Come on, Enlightened Circles. We'll see you shortly.
Yes, I can't wait. I'll let you guys know. Follow my page. You'll see when I'm on Jessica's show. Listen, everybody, get out there today and do what we do. We love up on everyone we can. Every situation that you encounter, remember, you have just one thing to do. Leave each person in each situation just a tad bit better in the way you encounter it, and watch what happens. Your life will be one for the record books. Guys, I'll see you Monday morning. Come back Monday morning. Oh, I cannot wait. Philip Brown, a florist here in Chicago, has a new thing. He's out there making a difference, feeding the homeless, cleaning up their living spaces, having tons of garbage carried away. And it's called Love Offering Chicago. He's with us Monday morning, and we're going to go live out there on the streets and see what's being done and what still needs to be done. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Jessica, love you, love you, love you.
Ciao, everyone. Blessings.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you Monday.